There comes a time in every man's life when he is forced to sit with the past, not to dwell in regret, but to face the truth he once walked away from. And now, standing at the edge of all I've learned, I find myself looking at someone I once called my world. She was once my forever, and now, after all this time apart, she wishes to return. My ex-wife, the woman who once knew every part of me, has reached out through silence and longing, asking if what we had still has a chance to be born again. It's strange how time teaches you things that love cannot. When we parted, it was not for lack of love, it was a collision of egos, of timing, of unspoken wounds that turned into walls. We both walked away thinking we were doing what was best, but the truth is, neither of us truly healed. The space between us became a desert where both of our souls quietly wept. And now she returns, not with pride, but with vulnerability in her eyes, whispering a possibility I never thought I'd hear again: reconciliation. Her voice doesn't carry demands. It carries softness. A tone only familiar hearts can recognize. She spoke of the moments we ruined with silence, the days we wasted in coldness, and the nights we could have filled with warmth but didn't. She spoke not as someone trying to fix the past, but as someone willing to rewrite the future. And in that moment, I didn't see the woman I once divorced. I saw the woman I once loved so fiercely that I forgot how to love myself. I am not the same man I was then. And I know she is not the same woman either. Time has matured us both, has trimmed the arrogance, has softened the hardness. When she looked at me now, there was no trace of the arguments, no shadow of the pride that used to cloud her eyes. What I saw was clarity. I saw longing. I saw the echo of a home we had both burned down, now rising again from the ashes, asking us if we're willing to rebuild, not as we were, but as who we've become. Love the second time around is never like the first. It's quieter. It's wiser. It doesn't rush. It studies. It listens. And most of all, it humbles. She didn't come back with fantasies of perfection. She came back with a willingness to accept every scar we earned along the way. She spoke of our failures with honesty, and for the first time, I felt we were speaking from the same page, not across battlefields of blame. I remember the mornings when we used to fight the world side by side. I remember the laughter we shared when the cameras weren't watching, when we were just two souls, stripped of all titles, learning how to love in a world that demanded perfection. That woman still lives inside her. And maybe, just maybe, the man who once loved her so deeply still lives in me too. Perhaps it's not about returning to what we had, but creating something new from what we've learned. She told me she misses the way I used to pray for her silently, the way I used to protect her even when we were not speaking. And I won't lie, I miss it too. I miss having someone who understood the weight of my world without needing it explained. I miss the feeling of coming home and finding peace in someone's presence, not pressure. And in her words, I felt that old peace trying to return, not forcefully, but gently, like a familiar breeze brushing against a forgotten memory. I know people will have opinions. They'll say reconciliation is weakness, that I should keep moving forward. But what they don't know is that moving forward sometimes means returning to the one you were never meant to lose. It's not about surrendering to the past, it's about honoring what's real, even if it once got lost in translation. The strength lies not in avoiding the one who hurt you, but in facing them, forgiving them, and understanding that they too were growing, stumbling, searching. I looked at her and realized, we both failed each other. But failure does not mean finality. It means we were human. It means we needed to break to understand the weight of what we had. And if we can now return to each other not as broken pieces hoping to be glued, but as whole individuals choosing to walk together again, then maybe this love deserves a second breath. There are moments when I question my own heart. Am I holding on to nostalgia? Am I chasing a memory? But when she speaks, I don't hear the past, I hear a new rhythm. One I want to explore. One that feels less about repeating what was and more about discovering what could still be. Her presence no longer feels like a rewind. It feels like a new beginning carved from wisdom and pain. And so I sit here, unsure of how this story will unfold, but certain of one thing. My heart has not closed its doors to her. There is still a light that flickers when she walks into the room. There is still a softness in me that only responds to her voice. Perhaps that is love's way of telling us that not everything lost was meant to stay gone. My ex-wife wishes to reconcile, and this time, she doesn't come as the woman I married. She comes as the woman I never got to truly know. And I, no longer the man driven by expectations, am willing to meet her again, not at the altar of dreams, but at the table of truth. If there is love left, and if we are brave enough to try again, then let us write a new chapter where every line is built with forgiveness, patience, and the deep knowing that some hearts never stop reaching for each other. And if reconciliation is what the universe places in front of us, not as a chance to relive the past, but to honor the lessons within it, then I choose to receive it. I choose to see her not as the woman who once left my life, but as the woman who found her way back with honesty. This time, not for fairy tales, but for truth. For peace. For a kind of love that learns, endures, and chooses again, no matter how long it took. She sat across from me, her hands folded, her eyes carrying a strange mix of apology and courage. I realized then how much bravery it took to return to someone you once walked away from. It's not easy to revisit the place where things fell apart. But she did, and in that moment, I felt something shift inside me, not anger, not judgment, just quiet recognition of love that never truly died, only paused, waiting for the right time to be reborn in gentler hands. There was no grand speech, no dramatic tears. Just truth, raw, sincere, and heavy with meaning. She didn't ask me to forget the past. She asked me to see her in the now. To look into her eyes and notice how much they had seen, how much they had understood in the time we spent apart. I could see it. She had grown, softened by solitude, strengthened by reflection. And so had I. We weren't the same people who said goodbye. Maybe that's why this conversation felt like the start of something rather than a return.